Hi there, it's Karen here from Turquoise Treasures. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a bit of a break from the paper bag journal just because I like to mix things up a little bit, and also I'm on a bit of a mission. I don't know if you've probably seen this before. You may not have seen it with the lid on. Isn't it lovely box, gorgeous box, but it is all full of scraps. These are all my digital scraps. The box is getting fuller and fuller, and I'm on a bit of a mission to get rid of this lot before I move. Anything that I don't use is going to be binned. I'm going to be ruthless. I really don't think it makes sense to move with a box of scraps of paper. This is not including scrapbook paper. I can't part with my scraps of scrapbook paper because when they're gone, they're gone. So I'm not going to throw them away. I've tried. I couldn't do it. But when it comes to these bits of paper, they can all be reprinted. So it seems crazy just to travel with a box of bits of paper, and if I haven't used them, then I don't love them, so they're going. So the first project I'm going to start with, so this may be a couple of videos, it may even be 3 videos that I'm going to be doing this over, but I'll see how it goes. But I'm going to start with, let's move that to one side, it's getting heavier and heavier. Right, I have these instant ink boxes where I'm sure many of you are the same. You belong to this, you pay on a monthly basis and you get sent ink cartridges when you need them. And sometimes they come in a big box like this. I think that's when I get the black and the colour. And sometimes they're smaller boxes. And I have been inclined to recycle them just because they're cardboard, they can be easily recycled. But I found that I really wanted to try and use some of them because they're lovely sturdy boxes and I really want to use them. And now with the move, I need to do something with my bits and pieces that are in my bedside cabinet. I've got a bedside cabinet with 2 deep drawers and all this stuff floating around in the drawers, nail varnish and medication and tubes of this and boxes of that and all sorts of stuff. So I need to clear it out, get rid of some of it. But what I thought I'd do would be quite good to kind of have some boxes to organise some of this stuff into. So that's why I thought it'd be nice to decorate them, use up my scraps, and then I'll be able to use the boxes to put things in afterwards. So that's the plan. And I'm going to start with the big one. And I think the first thing I need to do is to cut off these 2 side flaps because I don't need those. I just need these little bits to tuck in at the front to close it, but I don't want the side flaps, so I'm going to cut those off. Which may take me a moment or two, so I should probably, I think I need to turn off the camera to do that because this is quite thick. It's going to take me a few minutes, so I'll be right back when I've done it. Okay, so I've cut off these 2 side pieces. I ended up using my craft knife because the scissors weren't very effective. And there's a few rough bits, but I will be wrapping paper around, so I'm hoping that will cover that. Actually, I might just trim a few more pieces of this off. It does look a little bit rough on this side, doesn't it? I'm hoping that wrapping some paper around those sides will soften all that. So I'm going to start, I think, with the top. And I'm going to use this. I've been watering down some Mod Podge. My Mod Podge had got really thick because I haven't used it for a while. And I thought, well, that full strength Mod Podge would probably be too much. So I watered it down, but it's quite difficult to mix it in, so I don't know how well it's gone. But I think it'll be okay. I've got plenty of it anyway, so I'm going to paste it on. So there's some thick bits in there, and I'll just spread it out. I hope this is going to work. If not, I'll have to rethink and come back with using like full strength glue or something. But I thought I'd just see if I could make this work, just because I want to use the Mod Podge, but it's too thick to use without watering it down. But I may have overdone it, I may have overwatered it. I'm just going to put a few bits here to start with. It's been ages since I've done anything like this, and I don't know if I've ever actually done kind of decoupage type stuff on a box before. And I've just pulled out a few of my favourite bits just to start me off, so that I don't have to keep digging down a great big box. I've got enough pieces here to dig down. So I know I want to put this piece sort of on the front somewhere. So I'm going to put that to one side because I want that to go on last. So I might put a piece of, I need something. Now I've got to try and match things up. I'm not going to claim I'm not going to overthink this, because I probably will, because I want this to be something that I enjoy looking at. So I don't want to stress myself out too much, or worry too much that I'm overthinking, because it's got to be something I like and I'm happy with. So I'm just going to tear it about there, and we'll see if it actually grabs. That's the first thing, I think. I think I need the sides to be a little bit straighter than that. I don't even know if you can see here, but I'll show you in a second when I've finished tearing it. So I want something to go over the edge and round to the back. Oh, it does seem to be grabbing. I haven't actually got the glue on the back, but I can do that in a second. Okay, so now we need something down the side. So let's make sure I've got plenty of glue right up to the edge. Now I'm going to go over the papers with the Mod Podge as well, just to seal it all as I go along. Okay, I need another strip down this side, something narrower, I think. Maybe a piece of music. These are all from a variety of kits. I think these two pieces are both from Vibrant Melodies by Pink Monarch Prints, I believe. Which is a really lovely kit, and it has lots of yummy things in it. Put that there. Make sure that covers that bit. Whoops! Watch the elbows, Karen, as it knocks everything flying. Put the glue right over the front. Okay. I'll just stick down those back bits in a second. Right, I really want this piece on the front because I love it. So I'm just going to tear that. I don't love the parrot. The parrot's going. I'm going to have this on somewhere as well. It's a nice piece of... Ooh, I like the back though. I like that, so maybe I'll use that somewhere. Yeah, I like this piece as well, so that might go maybe across the front. Let's just get this piece on. if I should try and just take it over the edge a touch. It's bubbling up a bit, so I'm hoping that will flatten out as it dries. Right, need a bit more colour. Take that down a fraction more. So this is Roxy Creations paper, and this one is something I bought a long time ago from Joanna Clough. I haven't really used it. I think she did it's called a zine or something. It's like a magazine type thing, and it had some really pretty paper as part of it. And I've always liked the paper, I just never really done much with it because it wasn't exactly a kit. So it's ideal for this kind of thing. Bit of decoupage. Okay. And then so put that there. I want it to go, I suppose it could just about go over the edge, just so that it, I wonder if it could go on there. I don't really need it quite as long as that. This could turn out absolutely horrible. I think there's every chance of that. But at least I'll have had some fun doing it. You never know, maybe it'll be okay when it dries. And I'll be able to, perhaps I'll be able to cover it up with some bits of lace or something. At the moment it just looks a wrinkly mess. Okay. And let's just stick these bits down at the back. Right, this is just so wet now and so wrinkly. I think the best thing I can do for the moment is let it dry, because I'm really not sure how this is going, and I don't want just gonna, well, I don't know what it's going to do. I think I just need to see if it's going to work at all when it's dry before I carry on. Otherwise I might have to start again and put some more stuff over the top to make it look better. Don't know. So I'm just going to wait here for a few minutes. Try not to let it stick itself to the mat. And then I'll be back when this has dried off a little bit and I can see whether it's actually going to work. Right, it's a bit drier. Well, it's quite a lot drier. I did have a go with my heat gun just to speed things up a bit. But now the colours are kind of showing through a little bit more. I'm actually finding it's a bit too yellow for me. I like this paper, it's really pretty, but it doesn't really go for me on here. So I've got this piece and I'm going to cover that up. I'm going to split it. Where's my ruler? I just need to tone back the yellow a bit. I'm not really a big fan of yellow. I mean, I don't hate yellow. I just don't find I work well with it for some reason. It's just not my colour of choice. So I think I'm going to put that down there and a piece of this up here. I think that will just tone that down a little bit. This may seem completely mad. Oh, the other thing I've done off camera is I've just covered this edge with this piece of paper here because I thought it was going to be really messy to do. So I thought I'd better do that off camera, and then it's dried and I can move on to start working on the inside. So I'm just going to, I think, apply the glue to the paper just lightly. I can just go over that edge of fraction there. That looks a bit odd though, doesn't it? That bit of green sticking out, I'm going to have to move it up. I'd have liked to have covered this edge, but I suspect there may end up being a bit of lace around there at some point on that edge, so that'll be fine. Okay, let's make sure that bends. That's it. And then this piece up here. I'll put that round that way. Okay. And hopefully they'll be drying while we work on the inside now. Right, so let's just a bit there. I can always add more bits if I'm not happy. I might put some more across the top here, I'm not sure. You can just keep adding with these projects, can't you, until you're happy with it. So I'm just going to leave that to dry for now and try and do some work on the inside. So I'm going to cover everything on the inside, and I also want to put some around the edges of this. Like I said before, I'm going to try and cover up these edges, so I'll have to have something going around. I think I need something to stop this from tipping. I wonder if I can just put this one underneath, otherwise it's tipping a little bit, isn't it? Easy to work on. As long as it doesn't glue itself to the... Oh, that's a thought, isn't it? It's going to glue itself to there. Bear with. I have another piece of the craft mat, so that won't stick to that. There we are. I'll just hold it a little bit. Okay. Let's apply some glue and start adding some more bits of paper. Look at the other side. Yeah, that would work. Use that as my wraparound piece. Perhaps I'll do that on both sides actually. I like that. This is one of those very pretty Roxy Creations background papers. I do love her papers. It's only just long enough. Doing the wraparound bits are quite tricky. Let's just put some glue on this side. Okay. I think we'll do the same on the other side. It's possibly a bit too big, this one, a bit too wide. Just cut that down a little bit. Yep. Okay. Okay. Right, so I want a piece to go around here. Double-sided. But it's got the same on both sides, so I haven't got choices really. That's too long still. Right, I'm going to use a bit of this. Fold it around. Really don't know how well this is going to work. I want it to go round the inside the corners. Or maybe I do around here. Maybe that would work. Right, so I've had a bit of a play around. I'm just trying to figure this out. I'm finding it quite difficult to work it out as I go along. So I'm having to think a little bit ahead because it's quite tricky, particularly this interior part. So I haven't figured it all out, but I've made a bit of a start on some of the bits I want to use, and hopefully we can fill in the gaps as we go along. Put that there. Try and get that right into the corner, into the crease at the bottom. Right, and so I've got this piece here. There's a few bits, little scraps of bits here and there from some Daphne's diary. Bits of paper that perhaps came out to be used, so I popped those in my scrap box. sure if I like this yet. Feels like an unholy mess, but at least it's colourful. Kind of. Right, I need to do the inside at the front. I'm going to use another piece of this paper. Right. Good. Right. One more piece to go over here. No, it's not long enough. Okay, let's start off on the outside. I'll see how far it will go. Right, so I just quickly filled in the last little piece. It's a bit of a mess, but I'm hoping that when it dries it'll look a little bit better, or I can cover up the bits I don't like. I've got this final piece I want to put in right at the bottom here, and then we've got to let it dry completely and see how it looks, and whether I need to decorate it. I will have to decorate it up to a point. I'm sure I'm going to want to add a little bit of lace around it somewhere. Just put this piece more or less in the middle, more or less. It's all been a bit more or less, and a bit Heath Robinson and complete mess really. But it has used up a lot of scraps. Even if I don't like it in the end, I've used up a lot of scraps. Right, so I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to leave it to dry. I'll come back and show you how it looks at the end, and if there's any decorating to be done, if I have time to decorate, I will. Otherwise I'll do it at the beginning of the next video. Okay, so I'll be right back. Right, this is all pretty much dry, and I do feel I need to add a few more finishing touches. I have already gone ahead and added this piece of Florentine paper that was in my box, and I just saw it there and I thought, oh, I just like it across the top there, and I'm really pleased with that. But I still want to add something across this edge because these bits are not quite, they're just coming away a little bit, so I've put some more glue on them, but I think I'm going to need just something around that edge just to make it sealed. But I do want to do something first on the inside, and then I'll come finish off the outside. So let's have a look inside. You can see it's all dry now. I don't know if you can see. It's covered all the way around, and on that side, I don't know if you can see that. So, like that. I have noticed that this piece with the blue flowers, there's a bit of bleed of colour. I'm not quite sure what's caused that, but they're all doing the same with a little bit of pink coming out. It's to do with them being wet, I'm sure. But it's fine. I don't mind this. It's okay. What I did decide I wanted to do, I wasn't terribly happy with how messy that looks on the inside here. So I found another piece of, this is a piece of Roxy Creations paper. It was a scrap, but it wasn't in my box. It was in a folder with all my other Roxy stuff, because it was a bigger piece, but it wasn't a full piece. And this is one of her end papers, and I've just cut it to size, and I'm just going to put it in there and hope that that doesn't bleed through too much or doesn't change colour. We'll have to see. I'm going to just try and not make it overly wet. I'm just going to go for the thicker part of the glue, and I'm just going to do another layer and see how it looks. If that doesn't work, well, I might think of something else, or use a different glue that isn't perhaps quite as wet. Maybe that's the way to do it, I don't know. But I thought I'd stick with the Mod Podge while I'm at it. Line that with the glue. And just pop this in. So hopefully I've cut it to about the right size. Of course I've not quite put it in right to the edge, so it's buckled at the end. Right up to there. Okay. And I'm just going to use my ruler again to go into the corners. Seems to be a slight glue issue in this corner. Right, so I think that looks better. I think it just looks a bit neater. I'm just hoping it won't end up with a bit of pink showing through. I just don't know. It's obviously something to do with my print, with the ink I've used and not liking being wet. But I'll just let that dry. But I think now while that's drying, we can work on the outside. So as I said, I want to put something along this edge, so I think I'll start with that. And I've got another piece of this blue, which I thought would work quite nicely. I'm just going to put it to about there, I think. It's already quite wet, so hopefully it'll glue down without too much trouble. And let's just bend that over the corner. I had already got a piece going over the corner, but then I finished doing the back, which presumably I haven't shown you that actually. I did do the back, covered it because it hadn't been covered. Oops, and the edges of that started to come up, so it's just constantly trying to make sure all the edges are caught down. Now I think I need to trim that a little bit by the looks of it. Maybe just tear it because it's so wet. Maybe that's the way to do it. Yep. Okay, hopefully that will stay nice and it will dry nice and firmly there. careful not to rub it. Ugh, see, it's so wet. It's rubbing off now. So I've got to be careful. Okay. Then I wanted a little bit more decoration on the front. So I did find another piece of paper that I liked. And I decided I'm going to cover everything up that I've already done, or at least quite a lot of what I've already done. So I want to put that there. I like the roses and the bird cage. I know it's a bit clashy, but I don't know, I just quite like it. I may just keep adding stuff, I don't know. But anyway, I'm just going to put it on. So, just keep adding things until I'm happy. And on this side, I thought I might add this little bird. He's escaped. Well, not escaped. He's been let out of the cage and he's not going back. I might just use my tacky glue for him. Alright, I think I do prefer that. I know it's still quite bitty, but it is a decoupage. It's supposed to look a bit bitty. Right, so the last bit I want to decorate is this front flap, which I don't like very much. And in the spirit of using up scraps, this is a piece of lace that's kind of gathered in a few places because it was on the front of something else and I changed my mind and tore it off. So it's still a bit gathered here and there. So I think I'm just going to embrace the gathered bits and put that on like that. And then I've got something I want to, something to put in the middle. So I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on. And if I can make this go a little flatter. Glue that there like that. Then we'll keep that bit flat. I was going to do some more of the gathering, but I decided instead to put something in the middle. Just gather that just a little bit more. One more gather so it matches the other end. Kinda. Sorta, kinda. There we are. Make sure it's near the sort of level. And trim off the extra bit. Trim it off again because it's not done very well or straight. And then in the middle I'm going to, let me just glue this one down a little bit more. Okay. And in the middle, I'm going to put one of my cabochons that I did, because I think that goes quite nicely with the colours. And it's one I'm not sure I'll get to use. Probably I'll regret doing it, but because I can't find another place I would like to use it. But I'm going to. I don't know how well it'll hold, because it might be too heavy. Just going to try it. If it doesn't hold, it doesn't hold. I'll find something else that's lighter instead. We'll give it a go. Kind of in the middle, isn't it? Maybe I just need to wriggle it over a little bit more that way. Let's just hold it for a moment till it kind of really grabs it. It's not very heavy, so I'm hoping it'll hold. So that's the cabochon, and then that's just going to be outside on the front. I'm going to just try tucking in the side flap so we can see it all finished. I think this is all I need to do on this. And the other one. Let's put the other one in. Oop. There we are. Okay, there we are. I quite like that actually on the front there. And then that's the box. I think that will do nicely. And then I will use that. I may find, I'm not sure what I'm going to put in it yet, but I've got an idea of what I'd like to put in it, and we'll see. So there we are. It's a bit of a different thing, bit of a struggle for me, this one. Hopefully I'll get on better when I do the little one, which I'll do probably in the next video. I may do that differently. I've got to think about that, because it's making sure all the edges are covered. It's quite tricky, but I'm happy with how it's turned out. So thank you for joining me today, and do join me again for the next one. Bye for now.